I'm at the residence of the Italian ambassador to Qatar, His Excellency Alessandro Prunas. Come, let's check it out. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, how are you doing?
Buonasera.
Buonasera. Please.
Thank you.
Have a seat.
Thank you for hosting us this lovely afternoon.
My pleasure, my real pleasure.
I love the fact that there's light percolating in the living room of yours. This is so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah,
Did you choose this place?
No, I found it.
You
when I
found
came
it?
here. Yeah.
Okay, and you've spent about a year in Qatar now?
It's been almost a year. I arrived on the 5th of January.
Correct.
And it's been a tough year, but quite an intense and interesting year as well.
So how's it been so far? A year in Qatar, how would you describe it?
Well, it's been an interesting year because a lot happened despite the pandemic, but it's also been a very difficult year because of the pandemic always. When I arrived, 2 weeks after my arrival, we had our president here.
Right.
So a state visit that was not easy to manage, especially for someone like me who had just arrived.
Correct.
But it went well, and and shortly after that, the pandemic started. So it was it changed everyone's lives, including ours, of course. And so everything stopped, came to a standstill for quite some time, and then gradually, luckily, I think it was July when things started reopening, and including activities, because there wasn't much happening.
That's correct.
So it's been a strange year because the first 2 months, incredibly active, lots happening, lots of activities, and then nothing for about 4 months. And then September again we started being active again, of course with all the precautions that are needed and
correct,
given the circumstances. Yeah.
Speaking of the pandemic, I would love to highlight how Qatar individually has handled the pandemic. We've been successful in dealing with it. The fatality rates have been down as well.
Yeah.
So it's your first posting in the Middle East, as I understand.
Absolutely.
How's this region treating you? What have you discovered about Qatar that you'd like to perhaps tell Italians back home?
Well, I discovered that Qatar has an incredible hospitality. That's the first thing that comes to, that is obvious as you come here. And this reminds me a lot of Italians as well, because we also are very hospitable people.
Correct.
So this is somehow a similarity, something that we share. But it's always nice to receive a warm welcome from people you don't know because you just arrived. And
thank you for extending that hospitality to us as well this afternoon.
It's my pleasure.
Speaking of that, what would you prefer, a black tie event or sitting on your couch and watching a movie?
Both. I don't.
You have to choose one. No diplomacy works here.
Well, it depends on the mood. Well, let's say now a black tie event.
A black tie event.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're missing a lot of those?
Because this has been a difficult year with not much happening, especially in the first part. But normally I'm more a couch
surfing person. So what have you seen latest on Netflix or any of the surfing devices and applications that you might have?
My last thing I saw on Netflix was this wonderful documentary on an octopus. It's called The Octopus, My Teacher, I think. It's from a South African filmmaker who's been spending a whole year swimming with an octopus in the Cape region. It's a wonderful documentary.
That's interesting.
On nature and on the life of this octopus, and you discover how clever these animals are. It's really beautiful, stunning. I strongly recommend it.
Yes, okay. Yeah. I've written down and I will be forwarding this recommendation to everybody who's going to be watching this segment. But I'd love to see more of your space and the space that you inhabit and how you've decorated it. I'm feeling very spirited and very festive around this time, so why don't you show us?
Please, well, this is pretty much the residence with the garden, which is probably the nicest part of it.
Correct.
We have a stunning view on West Bay.
Absolutely. That's right where we work from. That's my office.
It's actually beautiful at night. At night, you have all the lights of the skyscrapers. It's absolutely stunning. And sometimes you have dhows, around.
Speaking
and
of
it's very beautiful.
dhows, we missed each other yesterday as well at the International Dhow Festival.
Oh, what a pity. It was fabulous.
I am going to highlight and talk more about Qatar and Italy together.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the Italian and Qatar partnership, specifically seeing the fact that geographically and structurally they're quite alike? They're both peninsular regions and you both have rich histories as well. Could you...
Yes. Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that because Italy has a very strong maritime tradition.
Correct.
Shipbuilding is very important in Italy.
Right.
And Qatar actually knows that because they've been buying ships from us.
Right.
Successfully. So that's something we have in common, this maritime tradition. And I was surprised to see yesterday at the Dhow Festival some of the art crafts that were displayed there reminded me a lot of what I would see if I went to a fishing village in Italy. I mean, after all, fishing villages all have something in common, but in this specific case, I don't know. I felt at home. I come from a peninsular country, as you say, so
Right.
for us the sea is very important. It's something that we relate to a lot.
Correct.
We love going to the beach. We love cruising in the sea. We love everything that is related to the sea, and that I think is something that we share a lot with the Qataris.
And now that you've reminded me of octopuses
Yeah.
and fishes, I'm
Yeah.
thinking of sumptuous food. So I'd love to know, what are your food choices like in the
My food
Mediterranean
choices.
region? Are you missing European food, or have you adjusted to the Middle Eastern cuisine, let's say?
Well, I adjusted also because the food here is very nice, and I have to say, Qatar has a lot to offer, not just in terms of Middle Eastern cuisine. You can find literally everything you like here. This is quite a very cosmopolitan city,
Correct.
after all. So I haven't tried an Indian restaurant yet, I have to say. That's
But
bad on me.
But you said you were in India for a brief span of time.
Yeah.
Take us back to through that
Oh.
memory lane and tell us more about that experience.
Well, I was very young. I think I was probably 20, 21, something like that. And I decided it was winter. It was December, January, and I decided I wanted to travel in India. So I bought a ticket, landed in Delhi, and then basically I had no specific destination. So I started traveling, especially around Rajasthan. I started with Rajasthan. I wanted to
So
travel
one
more.
desert to the other.
Exactly. And went to Rajasthan, and then riots happened. So there was the destruction of the Ayodhya mosque and some troubles, and so there was curfew. It was quite a tense moment, but having said that, I didn't feel any danger, any particular tension, I have to say, and I didn't decide to go back home. I stayed there. My mother wasn't very happy. There were no cell phones then, so I remember calling her once a week, and she would ask me, to come back, and I stayed 4 months. I was supposed to stay 1 month, and I stayed 4 months.
Wow.
But I didn't get to travel much of the country because of the traveling limitations.
Correct.
So I stayed mainly in Rajasthan, but I had a great time. I really loved it.
Yeah. Would you now look back and perhaps think of traveling to India very soon?
Oh yes. Well, I've done that.
In your recent past?
In my recent past, I think last time I was in India was in 2010. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So India and Italy are also very strong, and they also share rich histories together of
Yeah.
diplomacy, of cultural togetherness,
Yeah.
and plurality.
Yeah.
Would you tell us a little bit more about how your Indian association has given you something that you cherish today?
My Indian association. Well, I think what comes to my mind is friends. I have many Indian friends.
Mm-hmm.
Both colleagues that I met during the course of my career, and also friends that I met outside of work. Again, really really nice people, but they don't play football. That's a problem.
Yes.
I'm not a big cricket fan. I have to say I hate cricket. I just don't understand the game.
Right.
I remember I was posted in South Africa and there was the World Cup, the Cricket World Cup.
Right.
And I was invited to watch a game, and I just couldn't understand what was happening. So it was terrible for me. It was a torture.
So speaking of you being a football fan, are you looking forward to 2022 World Cup?
Of course.
Do you enjoy sports?
Very excited.
Yourself?
Yeah, well, I enjoy football. I'm more of a swimmer, really.
Okay, I can see that. There's a pool right there.
Yeah, it's a small one. I prefer sort of Olympic-sized pools and do
Olympic
laps.
size, yes.
But that's when I need to
Which
train.
is your favorite stroke?
My favorite stroke?
Yeah, in the pool? So would it be freestyle?
Freestyle.
Freestyle, okay.
Freestyle, definitely. So no, but coming back to football, I think this is. I'm so fortunate to be here at this time, and being able to actually stay here during the World Cup. That's such a bonus, such an amazing bonus.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I'm really amazed at how Qatar has prepared this World Cup and how well they're preparing it. I've visited some of the stadiums and they're absolutely stunning. They're beautiful, and the infrastructure that has been built is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So really looking forward to that, and I hope Italy qualifies this time, because last time was a bit of a disaster. I have to say, first time in our history that we didn't qualify to a World Cup. It was a national trauma.
Yeah, so we're expecting to see the Italian team here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Inshallah.
let's take a roundabout and see the beautiful sights that we see from your residence.
Yeah.
I can see some people stand up paddling there.
Yes.
Wow. Have you tried that here?
No, not yet. I have to say, you would see many more if you came here early in the morning.
Right.
Lots of people around 6 o'clock in the morning out paddling. I don't know why they do that, but they seem to enjoy it.
Have you ever been stung by a jellyfish?
Oh yes, I have. I remember last time was actually quite recently. I went to Sea Line.
Correct.
Beautiful beach, beautiful sea, crystal clear. The water was amazing, and I just went into the water, started swimming, and then I felt pain on my forearms. It was terrible. I realized I was surrounded by jellyfish.
Oh
but
gosh.
It was okay.
Right.
I survived.
Yes, good.
Yes, no damage.
So speaking of Sea Line, would it be right to consider it's one of your favorite spots in Qatar, or do you have any other?
Well, Sea Line is beautiful. I've only been once. See, my problem is that because of the limitations due to the pandemic,
Correct.
I didn't get to travel much around the country.
Right.
For several months, I actually was pretty much stuck here at home.
Right.
And it's only recently that I've started
exploring
the country, and I'm actually buying a motorcycle now. Because I think this is one way of exploring this country, which I think can be very interesting.
On the motorsports, so you're for the...
Yeah, on a motorcycle, yeah.
That's wonderful.
Especially if you can go in the desert. I'm not sure if you can do that, but I definitely want to try.
Well, what sort of a person are you? Are you a sea person, or are you someone who likes the mountains?
Sea in summer and mountains in winter.
That's a convenient response, okay. What do you drink? What's your beverage? Or
tea.
Tea is your favorite beverage?
Yeah, I'm not very Italian in that. I like coffee, but I'm not a big coffee person.
Oh, really?
I much prefer tea, yes.
What do you prefer, day or night?
Day.
Day, okay, so you are definitely...
I like the sun. I like the light.
Very Italian in that sense.
Yeah, Italians also like nights. They like to go out at night.
Correct.
Very much.
And I know Italy as the epicenter of culinary arts. We've had the Renaissance take place. We have Leonardo da Vinci from there. Italy is extremely rich in what you get in terms of its cultural understanding.
Yeah.
How do you get to distribute that amongst the Italian community in Qatar? So what are the initiatives? What are the exercises? I saw something recently on Instagram, which was a culinary festival at your residence again. So
happened just here.
Yeah.
That was we celebrate every year the week of Italian cuisine.
Correct.
This is like an initiative that we support worldwide as a Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Italy. And this year's edition was obviously a bit limited because of the pandemic, of course. So we decided to host a cooking demonstration, just for very few people, of course, because we couldn't be more than 30, I think, outdoors. So we were around 20 people in total, and I've been cooking myself, which is kind of embarrassing. But
so, what is the best thing that you can probably concoction?
Well, the easiest option would be pasta, because that's so easy and also so nice, so delicious.
Which one? Which pastas?
Oof. I like to be creative. I like to sort of invent on the spot, depending on what I have. You have seafood, and you would make a seafood pasta. You have meat, you would make something with meat, mushrooms, whatever.
Excellent.
That's the beauty of pasta. You can mix it with so many different ingredients.
Right.
So it's really left to your imagination and taste.
Have you tried Indian food so far?
I have many times, but not here yet.
Not here.
Not in Qatar yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's excellent.
By the way, you have to recommend a good Indian restaurant.
Multiple coming your way.
Okay.
Okay, let's take a walk and see the other half of your residence, because I'm really inspired. I think this is a beautiful place to be living at in Qatar. So now that I've gotten to know about you in a professional capacity, your professional engagements, and how committed you are to your work, I'd like to know a bit more about you personally.
Oh, the embarrassing questions.
Coming your way. So you are extremely tall and good looking, of course.
Thank you.
So what would you attribute that height? How tall are you? Let's begin
I know in centimeters it's 193.
from... Okay.
I don't know in feet how much that is. I guess 6 something.
So do you get advantages in crowded places, or you'd never encounter them?
Cinemas.
Cinemas.
Yes, if you go to a cinema and you're tall and you have someone sitting in front of you, it won't bother you.
Exactly.
That's a plus.
So where were you born? Were you born in Italy?
No, I was born in Turkey, in Ankara.
Really?
Yes, my father was a diplomat himself. So I was born in Turkey, then we moved to
So you're carrying on the
Thailand.
tradition of being a diplomat.
Yeah, trying my best.
So you moved to Thailand?
Moved to Thailand, then we went to Sweden, and then we came back home in Italy, and then I started my career. So Kosovo, South Africa, Brussels, and now here.
How did you decide to be a diplomat, or was it something that just came onto your way?
Well, I guess I somehow enjoyed my life as a child, as a son of a diplomat, and that somehow influenced me a lot in my professional decision. On top of that, I think I like my job. I really like my job. I really enjoy doing what I'm doing. So.
Very visible right now. I've been with you for about a half an hour, and I know that. I see that clearly. But tell me, is this tradition of being a diplomat carried on from your grandfather, or just...
No, it was my father. My father's uncle was also a diplomat, but my grandfather, no, he was a lawyer, and he was
a sports enthusiast as well?
Yes, he was. He used to be president of a football team, Cagliari.
I have foresight, you see.
Which is a Serie A team now. I mean, in those days it wasn't, but yeah, because my family is originally from Sardinia, and so my grandfather was he lived in Cagliari, which is the main city in
that's lovely.
in Sardinia, and he was the president of the local football team. Now
Wow.
Cagliari plays in Serie A, so it's one of the, I wouldn't say the best teams, but one of the good teams in the Italian Championship. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So in India, it's very hard to be a diplomat. For instance, you have numerous exams to write, and you have to wait.
Same in Italy.
It's the same. So it's good to say that you are.
It takes
extremely...
a long time to get into the job. It's you have to take a lot of exams and.
So you must be good in school, I suppose, then.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah.
Let's not try and be modest. What were your subjects that you were good at? Let's go back to your school.
I was very good at maths.
Maths?
I was very good in history. I
That's
love history.
lovely.
History.
No wonder how you knew so much about India, Qatar, and the Middle Eastern region. I can see a lovely photograph right behind you. I want you to talk about that.
No.
How young were you when you did this?
This was in South Africa.
Okay.
I used to play polo then. I wasn't a very good player, but I really enjoyed playing polo. That must have been 20 years ago, 22 years ago, more or less.
What are you reading currently? What's off your shelves? Any historical books? Any literature that's being absorbed by you? Or does work leave you no time?
I'm reading a lot of reports. And, I read so much for work. Currently, I'm actually not reading anything. I mean, any novel or anything for leisure. No.
The work.
Right now, but yes, I'm devoted to work, so to say.
Absolutely. Next, where am I going to see you? You're already the talk of the town.
Am I really?
Yes, for all the right reasons. You're quite visible everywhere, doing the right things and the good things. The festivities are around. I want you to give us a cheerful message that'll leave us all happy and hunky-dory before 2020 ends.
Yes. Let's hope this year ends very quickly.
Yes.
Let's start with a new year and a new era.
Absolutely.
And yes, well, my message would be obviously wishing everyone a wonderful festive season and hopefully a wonderful 2021. That's something that I wholeheartedly wish to everyone, really, because this has been a very, very difficult year.
That's true. Thank you so much
You're welcome.
for being with us and taking out this time.
You're welcome. Grazie.
Pero?
Prego.
Preto.
Prego.
How do you say?
Grazie is thank you. Prego is you're welcome.
You're welcome. Prego.
Prego.
And how do you say, I hope to see you soon?
Spero vederti presto.
Oh, spero vederti presto.
There you go.
Wow, I'm an Italian champion now. I've
There you
learned
go.
it.
There you go.
Did you learn some Indian phrases before you left India?
Namaste.
What about Qatari Arabic words?
Qatar baladun jamil.
That's good. I don't know what that means.
Qatar is a lovely country.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for entertaining us and giving us all
You're
the
welcome.
knowledge
Thank
that
you.
you absorbed. Thank you so much.